Hi everybody, it's Alexinis and today I'm gonna review for you the Yonex Vcore 95. Let's go. So today I took out this Yonex Vcore 95 from Tennis Zone because I thought that it would be an interesting review. Because yes, 95 square inch hit size rackets are now disappearing because it's too small for the modern type of player that we are now, grinding from the baseline and yes, sometimes needing to go to the net, but not that often like it used to be back in the days. So let's see if this Vcore is still relevant to this day. The thing that is going to be interesting to see is that the Vcore is a really modern line from Yonex. So let's see if a modern line combined with classic specs can just make it. So I'm gonna start with the specs and then we're gonna go on the court and finally I'm gonna give my rating. So for the specs, this is a 95 square inch head size racket with a 310 gram on-strung weight, and you have a string pattern of 16 by 20, which is pretty cool considering that it's a 95 square inch head size. It gives you a bit more feel in that small head size. So now, let's go on the court. If you're looking to buy some tennis products online, then I have a great news for you. You can use the code ALEXTENNIS to have 10% off your next purchase on Tennis Zone. Thanks to them for making this video possible, and let's go back. On the court with the Yonex Vcore 95, the first thing that I felt, and I was kind of happy to feel that, is the fact that it's everything that I like from the 98, but just better. So yes, you have a great access to spin, you have a fairly great access to power, even though it's a 95 square inch head size. You have a pretty stable racket, you have a great feeling racket. So just to summarize what I felt, it's just basically it's the most spin-oriented 95 square inch head size that you have on the market, that's for sure, and it's due to the way that the racket is basically shaped. So it's shaped to be a spin-oriented racket. But because you have a 95 square inch head size, then you have a lot of control, and still with the 16 by 20 string pattern that had a bit more feel to the racket, that's for sure, and it creates a unique feeling, that's for sure too. But yes, you have a thinner beam compared to the 98, but it's still quite big to generate some power, and so all that combined together create an incredible racket in terms of feeling. Obviously the VDM mutes a bit the racket in the handle, so if you're not a fan of the VDM, then I don't recommend to try this racket. But other than that, yeah, it's pretty comfortable, just a great racket in general, and I just enjoyed trying this racket with Yonex Polytour Pro, and it was just a fun review in general. Like it for the serve, like it for the volley, just a great all-around racket. So I really enjoyed this Yonex Vcore 95 because for me this racket combines everything that I like for the Vcore 98 and just let out everything that I don't like of the Vcore 98, if it makes sense. What I mean by that is that I felt with the Vcore 98 that it was a great powerful racket made to put a lot of spin, but I felt like sometimes I was lost in the string bed. It was too much of a big gap between the main string. But now with this one, it's completely the opposite, because yes, you have a 95 square inch head size racket, but at the same time, take a look, like it's a 95, but I mean with the isometric and the shape of the head size, it just feels like a 98 square inch head size, if it makes sense. And so with the 16 by 20, you just have an incredible racket. So I would also be able to recommend this racket to people that are not really used to play with a 95 square inch head size racket, because again, like I said, it's pretty similar to a 98 square inch head size. You don't feel lost. So let's go with the rating, but I have a lot of things to say about this racket after the ratings. In terms of control, I felt like it was pretty good. You have a good mix between control and power. Obviously the control comes from the small head size, the power comes from obviously the beam of the racket and the way that it's shaped. So I'll have to go for control with a 8 out of 10. In terms of power, like I said, again, it's kind of powerful for a 95 square inch head size racket, that's for sure, but at the same time it's still control oriented, so I'll have to go with 7.5 out of 10. In terms of spin, obviously the most spin oriented racket with a 95 square inch head size, that's for sure, there's no debate about this. So it has to be 8.5 out of 10. You know, you still have the same spin potential as the 98 for me personally. In terms of feel, it has to be 9 out of 10 because I just enjoyed the feel overall of the racket, you feel like it's a great blend. So you have the overall rating over here. But I have to say finally that I love this racket because it can suit so many people. First of all, it can suit the person that is playing with a powerful racket like the Vcore 98, but that just want to have a racket that is gonna be a bit tougher to play with, a bit more demanding, but still giving him the power and the spin of the Vcore line. So this one could be perfect. On the other side, if you're playing with, let's say, a head Prestige and you're playing with a 95 square inch version and you're like, I want to move out from this Prestige, but again, I don't feel comfortable playing with the 98, I feel lost, it might be a good transition racket because yes, it's gonna be powerful, you're gonna need a lot of times to adapt, but at the same time, I mean, it's still a 95 square inch head side that is really playable and really fun, and it's probably one of the only 95 square inch head size that I was able to hand to some people when I was doing the review and that they were able to play with. Normally when I'm reviewing 95 square inch head size racket, which is pretty rare, if I'm handing this racket to other people, they feel like it's unplayable, but this racket, they all thought that it was all, you know, playable and really actually fun to play with. So in general, I just actually liked the racket because of that, because of the factor that it's great at making power spin, yes, but at the same time you feel a lot of the ball in the string bed because you're having a 95 square inch head size. So that's it for the video, hope you have liked it. Thanks to Tennyson for letting me borrow this racket. Without them it would not have been possible. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and see you next time. Bye bye.